Welcome back, everyone. It's Aces Premiership Countdown, and it's a massive week. It's the Big Freeze, Year 10, the 10th anniversary of the Big Freeze. And if there's a man that has played in these games and knows all about it, it's the guy sitting next to me, the Pig. So we talk about that. We talk about last week's major storylines with the NAB Rising Star. Well, who's going to win it now? We do not know. And our locks of the week. It's the third week, the 12-week challenge. It's well and truly going, and, someone might have picked someone that shouldn't have been in there. Oh, you'll have to see and find out. Tune in right here. I'm nearly out of there. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.
All right, Tommy, let's get stuck into the podcast, mate.
Righto, everyone. Welcome back to Aces Premiership Countdown. You know the drill. The Piggy is in the building. There's a lot going on this week. We'll touch on that in a second. But the Clubhouse boys, they've left some bean boozled jelly beans. Have you ever had these before, Pig?
Nah, I haven't. I don't think I've seen them.
I thought this would be funny if, so essentially every flavour tastes like ass or tastes the grouse. And they're the same colour, so you don't really know till you taste them. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah.
All right, you think just pick one out.
Straight off. We didn't even get to talk shit.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to see. So I don't know what that one is. That's? Is it good or?
That's shocking, man. What is that?
I think that one's a rotten egg.
Give me something else.
All right,
mate,
taste this one. Taste this one.
One.
I don't know the mix. That one's going to be barf or peach.
Oh, that's peach. No, I'm not going in. That first one was putrid.
What's that one there?
Oh, what is that?
Stinky bug or toasted bug.
Oh, man. What is this?
Do we have any water? These bean boozled. Munster did it the other night. It's hilarious.
Mate, they are woeful.
Anyway, we should get into the show.
Anyway,
That's very good by you, mate. Hey, it's been a great weekend. I know you I was watching a lot of footy and you were playing footy, but all our 12-week challenge is just flying at the moment. And this week was so enjoyable because they were all done so early. We had Gunston's second or third goal of the game. King was the first goal of the game, and Mackay, I think he was early as well. So it was a pretty enjoyable watch, and geez, it's fun when it's that easy, isn't it?
It was early Saturday hour, and I said, mate, we're done already. How good is this? I think first quarter, both our blokes, all our guys kicked goals. So we're on to week 3.
And so we've put this through your account because I was under the pump that day.
Might be gone very quickly.
I know we're at the State of Origin on tonight as the big fella's got the New South Wales top on. Are you a New South Wales man, by the way?
I wasn't. I was Queenslander. There's always this thing about, being Victorian, you don't really like your neighbours, and a lot of the Storm guys growing up played for Queensland. But I've been working, I've been in construction the last few months. I've been real close and a good mate of mine now, Robbie Kearns, who played at Storm, played about 285 games or something in NRL, and he's a New South Wales bloke, and I've just jumped on board. I'm backing him in. There's a big thing at the moment at work. Shout out to Bunga for giving me these jumper to come in today, but yeah, Kearns is big New South Wales, and a few people like Queensland, and I'm just like, how can you follow Queensland unless you got family ties or friends ties there? When the great man Robbie Kearns, who works in the sheds with us, and he's one of the great men, he's donned the New South Wales jumper and one of the legends of the game. So I've jumped on board. I'm New South Wales for life now.
I like it. Well, it's actually not a bad.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be a cracking. It always is.
But no one has any idea who's going to win, which is why it's so good.
Year. I know. I think Queensland have won a fair few now.
They have, and Queensland won against when they had a lot of injuries. They just find a way. I remember our man Regan Bayless. I was with him in the pub in New South Wales, and he was like, "We're in I think we're at the where were we? We were in Clovelly. We're at the Clovelly Hotel, one of the pubs there, and." He's like the only Queenslander in there, and mate, it does not he was being relentless when they started coming back. He's like, "Yeah, I can stick it up, yes," and he's pointing at everyone in the crowd.
God,
he's that passionate. He's a Queenslander, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is next level."
And that's the thing I love about the NRL and how well they do the state of origin. I kind of wish.
Should we bring it back, you think?
100%.
But how do you do it with the injuries in the club? Do you just heavily incentivise it, like 50K, like, you know what I mean?
You'd have to, yeah. And you know what? But you need buy-in from the clubs and the coaches on both teams, which the NRL have.
Is it one game a year, though? So that way there's not. Because with this one,
yeah.
It's not like we have 2 states. There's a lot of states. So it has to be All-Stars v Vicks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know how you do that because you got WA, SA.
That's why I think they're in the All-Stars. And it's just because there's a lot of, there's more Vicks than.
It might have to be.
Well, it'd be a good rivalry anyway.
But I was speaking, I've been picking Robbie's brain about it a bit, and he's like, he played for Australia. I think he played for Australia more than he did for New South Wales, but he's like, there was just something about playing for your state and the passion that everyone in Australia gets around this time of year.
Oh, man, I can't wait to get home after this.
Neither can I. I'm pumped to watch it. He goes, there's just something about New South Wales versus Queensland where everyone's watching and it's just unbelievable. And that's why I'm like, I don't know how your mate survived in the New South Wales pub or whatever. He's the only one that was Queenslander because at work at the moment, people are about to belt each other on site.
It's full on. It was a pretty classy pub. I think it was, it was in a rough area. It would have been on. But Reggie was just so passionate. It was that funny. As I said, I kind of lean Queensland. I think Billy Slater and all the Storm boys. I'm a bit like you, but we grew up in Victoria. So just, I don't have a huge, like when I was living in New South Wales with the Giants, I could go to the pub and you wouldn't be saying that you're Queenslander, but you're happy just to watch, and the crowd was going. It's just a different experience, but it's very good. Well, there you go. State of Origin's on as we record this. Well, tonight anyway, when we get home. The result will be out by the time we're talking. Who do you think will win? Just so, because when this comes out, it'll be pretty funny.
Well, I think New South Wales. I have
a feeling New South Wales will win as well for some reason.
There's a few guys at work. They're confident.
So, that Brian.
I don't know enough
Brian
about
Tahoe? Is it Tahoe? Anytime. I think you'll get I've got him for a try.
No, I've got, you know what? I don't know enough about it.
Our man Angus Crichton's playing, which is good.
Nice.
I think Coates's playing. He's been on. There's a lot of it's good. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to watch it. Let's go back to the 12-week challenge, mate. We've got about how much money we got in the pot now?
About $401.20.
So we started with 100. We've now 2 weeks down. We're going into our 3rd week. It's great.
We'll get into the sixes now.
We'll talk about. It
depends on what we're back on.
I know. We just need to get that's just $1.30 each. And as I said, I think the 11th week will be going for 28,000 according to the compounding interest model.
I've looked at what I'm going to back, and maybe I've gone a little bit over.
Oh, you're giving us a little bit of juice. Hey, if it wins, happy days. But these punishments are getting right up there. Well, let's get stuck into it, mate. It's been a big week of footy.
What did you get up to over the weekend?
Yes, I kind of skipped on the week. Mate, I didn't do much. I've got. Nothing to really report. I'm boring at the moment. Yeah. It's kind of like you're going hard and then you're just chilling. As I said, I had that wedding in Bali and then just keeping it real low key. Yep. I'll let you know when there's something coming up. Hey, before I skip on, you've played footy. You got a bit of a shiner on your eye.
Yeah.
I thought you were having another week off. That's a 2-week hamstring injury that I've always thought 21 days. We're talking about Connor Rosie and you've even said 21 days, but you've come back in 14 days. So how was the performance?
I was a little bit less. Tuesday I did it, so it was about 12 or 10 days.
Oh boy!
I may as well have not been out there though, Tommy. The shiner, I think, came from the footy.
Oh really?
I think the footy hit me in the face. That's how well I was going on the weekend. I missed one from the goal square. I didn't make the distance from 30. I had one of the absolute mares on the weekend.
Boy.
I think I had 5 shots and kicked 2 points, and 2 didn't make the distance. 1 went out.
Is that because of the hammy?
Oh, I'd like to think it would have something to do with it, but when you're out there playing, there's no excuses. I had a stinker, but we won. So we're back on the
If
winners.
you have the win, it doesn't matter, does
Back
it?
on the winners list, and we're going all right.
Two
So
beers afterwards, telling the boys in the showers how much you stunk it up.
The whole family went down with gastro. I went down with gastro.
Don't bring up gastro around me. I know exactly how you all feel.
Monday.
We talked about gastro all last week.
Yeah, do you know the thing is that we had a toolbox at work, and the kids had it over the weekend. Mrs. had it Sunday, and I was saying to a lady at work, I was like, the kids had gastro, I had to look after them a little bit, and don't worry, like I never get it. Within 2 hours of me saying that at work, I went home and I was in bed for 3 hours, crook as for a day and a half, and it was rotten.
Oh, it's better than the juice cleanse, though, isn't it? How much weight you lose?
It's pretty much the same out the back end. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, very good. Well, mate, I hope you recovered and feel good. And anyone out there that's getting this gastro, I'm telling you, it's going around. Don't go to Barnbougle. You'll cough it. I'll give you the tip. Now, mate, plenty to talk about. I don't even know where to start. I said we would not talk about Harley Reid, but we have to talk about the NAB Rising Star right now, and more so the future bets. I reckon a lot of people backed Sanders from the Dogs like pre-season, a lot of hype, but Darcy and Reid done. It's 100%.
Hold on. What, you saying you get suspended, you can't win the Rising Star?
Yeah.
Is that fact?
Oh, yeah. Haven't you been reading the news? The internet's gone into a frenzy. He's done and Brownlow done.
I know Brownlow.
NAB Rising Star done.
Are you serious?
Yeah. There's been,
hold on.
and he's got 2 weeks, not just 1, 2 for that sling.
I've been living under a rock with this gastro. So I can't believe if you're the Rising Star, you're the Rising Star. If you're the Brownlow, it's the best and fairest.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why can't it? Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Crazy, man. And it's like they're now calling it. What's the guy that fell over and won? The Bradbury.
Oh,
they're calling it the Bradbury Award because like everyone was saying Harley Reid's got it in the bag, right?
Well,
but then there's talk Darcy. He might take it now because Reid was the number one, and then they're like, oh, Darcy's going pretty well because he's going really well. Everyone's like, doesn't really matter. Reid's got it in the bag. Now they're both suspended, and now you're going, well, it's an open market.
It is a Bradbury.
And a lot of blokes put on those futures. So we're talking like $500 odds into, I don't know, I haven't looked. I don't even think there's a market out there at the moment because there's a lot going on. But
that's horse shit.
Yeah, I know. And he got 2 weeks. The thing that
that's horse shit.
The thing that confuses me is the action's a sling, get it, remove it out the game, but the bloke didn't get concussed. So isn't it, like, how can that be 2 weeks if it's just a sling tackle?
They're going, we spoke about that a lot.
I know. And I get where the game wants to go with the head.
We know where I feel about it, but
I thought it was more out. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't really have a.
Oh my God!
I know the game's changing a lot, and it's good. We've got to protect the head. That's the main.
When I'm going into a footy podcast, I should probably know these things.
Well, we've had gastro.
I have been a bit crook, and I did see a little bit about it. I didn't read enough into it because I just thought, I knew he got the 2 weeks, but I didn't know about the betting for the Rising Star stuff. I can't believe that, man.
There's a lot of people not happy. I mean, I don't touch those. I never touch those markets and all that. It's just just all. It's too long and whatnot. But there's a lot of angry punters. But there's more so like everyone wants him to win the award, and now he's 2 weeks on the sidelines, and because he's one of our best, he's one of the best players to watch at the moment. 2 weeks plus a bye. It's not going to see him for 3 weeks.
And imagine the West Coast fans. He's given them hope. He's given them some light. Like he's brightening up the games. Like I'm enjoying watching West Coast play purely because he's running around out there at the moment.
Know.
And I think even his teammates, you can see the spark that it's given them, and they're playing some pretty decent footy.
I know.
So that's a shame because at the end of the day, the Rising Star, when you finish your career, Joel Selwood won them, and you don't you would think whoever the best player is has always won that award. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's been a couple of stinkers along the way.
I know our man Danny Talia, he won it in his third year, the big fella.
But did he really? That's
that was obviously just the timing of it.
Because it's whoever's the rising star at the end of their career. You go, oh yeah, he was a rising star, and now look at him. He's a 15-year player. Like he's been a gun. Like I don't think it should matter. I don't think if you get suspended, it's not a best and fairest. So. It's whoever your best player, best first year, best second year, whatever it is, that should win that award. So they should rethink that.
Yeah, mate, you're spot on. And, Darcy and Reed, 2 weeks. It's the way it's going. But imagine the Brownlow medal last couple of rounds, and there's a big collision with a couple of the stars, and then off the perch they go. It'd be pretty nerve-wracking, wouldn't it, being a Brownlow medalist favourite, and you have one of those moments where you run through the line of the ball like Peter Wright did, not that bad, but you know what I mean? You have one of them.
It's simple. You'd be pulling out.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up. I loved your reaction then.
The old Corey McKernan, you look back at what he got a week for. He won the Brownlow and got suspended for a week. Something. I think it was an accidental knee, and he won the Brownlow. Robert Harvey ended up running away with it, but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that's the outcome. That's where we're going at the moment, where you can't even tackle anyone these days. So. Anyway, mate, move on.
Let's talk about the Crows collapsing against the Hawks. Pretty uncharacteristic performance from the Crows for the last month. Let's just flip the situation. Let's just flip the way we're talking. Let's not worry about the negatives. Let's worry about the positives. The Hawthorn Footy Club, I think they're 5-1 the last 6 games, I think.
Yeah.
Mate, are they a chance for finals? This is a big call, but if the way they're playing, mate, they've got to be a sniff.
Well,
for that, those bottom spots, they're right open, aren't they?
Look at their run. They've got GWS. No, you wouldn't think, but they're not even. GWS are paying $1.64 this week, just purely off how well the Hawks going.
It's in Tassie as well.
Yeah, it was. There you go. It's over. Then they've got Richmond win, West Coast probably win.
Yeah,
you think over there, you don't know. Then they've got the Cats over the Cattery. They're going to win a couple of games going home. Freo, they could beat them over here at the moment, the way they're going.
Well, Hawthorn's on 20 points right now, and you got to be on 28 to be sitting 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The only team above them is the Dogs on 24. So if they fly home like they are, you got to remember they're 5-1 the last 6. If they keep this form up, they are. They're one of the most informed teams in the competition at the moment, and you would not want to be playing them if you're a team that's maybe a Geelong at the moment that's trying to find some form. I think they're 1-4 the last 5 games.
I think they'll just miss out, but they'll be right in the mix.
It's good for the fans, isn't it?
Bloody oath. Because they didn't expect this.
Well, I reckon they did internally with Mitchell. I think he's got a list.
Fans.
Yeah,
I think. Of course, you never go into a season. Doesn't matter where everyone else thinks you are. You always have hope. You always have ambitions to win as many games as possible. You never go, I'm going to be wrapped with 6 games. West Coast wouldn't have been like that. Even North would be like, hey, we're pushing for finals. We want to play finals. Hawks would have been like, but outside of that, everyone's going, Hawks probably come the second last behind or third last behind North, West Coast. That's where everyone else had them. And they're proving everyone wrong, and it's good.
It's well said, mate. North still winless. We'll talk about them. They're playing the Eagles this week.
They won't win a game.
This year.
They won't. They won't win a game.
They have to win one.
They won't.
I would have
They won't win a game.
A lot on that with you. I reckon they got to win one.
They will not win a game.
That's a massive call.
I'm telling you now, they're not going to win a game.
They
haven't looked like winning a game yet, right? They haven't even looked like it.
You're right.
It's halfway. You're going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
They've got... yes, I don't know how to defend them anymore. I actually went on TV and on this podcast.
You're wearing the colours.
I know, and I want them to win. It's like I told you, I want the teams that have been down the bottom. But it's good that you say that. They'll hear that and they'll fire up and they'll win. They will win this. They might beat West Coast without Harley Reid this week. You never know, man. They're only paying $3.60. Good juicy odds.
You know why I say that? Because the North supporters aren't going to come at me because there aren't any.
Well, they probably see Hawthorn and go, why can't we do that? It would be frustrating seeing why.
How many people have been going to their games, man? And fair enough, it's hard to watch them, but I know.
I've got a good mate. My mate Risky, he's a diehard North fan.
Yeah, there's one.
But he defends them in a WhatsApp group, and it's like he goes back to the prelims. I think I don't know when they were. They're probably 10, 15.
2014.
They weren't that long ago. They were 10 years ago.
They beat us in 2014.
Yeah. So he goes back to those days and then he uses Essendon because I grew up barracking for Essendon. And he's like, where's Essendon been? So when you think about it, North, they've actually had a bit more success than a few other teams, but they've just been down there for so long. A few other things before we get into this week's pod with a few, other things to talk about. But did you watch the Geelong game versus Richmond? Did you see Noah Bolter and the boys on the sideline with a little notepad?
No, I didn't see that. I did watch a fair chunk of that game. You got zone in and out of those games a little bit sometimes, but no, I didn't see that.
I had the notepad out and it caused a frenzy online. I didn't mind it. They must have been talking about a structure. Would you have pulled the notepad? Were you a notepad man?
No. I did during the week on a Thursday or something, if I knew I had to play on like a dangerous small forward, like a Cyril or a Charlie Cameron or Cody Waitman or something these days.
Don't bring up Cyril's name in here, would you?
Yeah, sorry, mate. You know what? I would make some notes in my phone about, obviously left footer, likes getting front and centre. Well, little
Basic
things.
stuff to start.
How I knew they would get the ball, like will tick up lead, things like that. I'd watch enough of their footage and how they got their goals and stuff, and I'd find little common traits about how they kick their goals every week and how they like to get the ball. That was the only thing I would write down, but I never took it to the game with me. I'd memorise it and go into the game with that.
Yeah, well said. It was pretty funny seeing the big man on the boundary line with a notepad. I didn't mind it. I like the way that they're working together and the coach Uze's there and they're even having a laugh during the game. But they were pretty impressive, actually, the Tigers. They were giving Geelong a bit of an old-fashioned touch-up early. I'm thinking, I don't think this is sustainable, but it's starting to be worrying signs right now for Geelong. And then they really clicked into gear in the second half. But, yeah, if you're a Richmond fan, you were thinking, we're a chance here. We're a big chance.
Sure.
The last one I've got is just the Freo VDs. It was I just need to stop tipping against my sides. I just thought these not home game in Alice Springs. I thought your man Pickett would just chop up.
Well, I called that too.
And that was one of my last legs of my multi that didn't get going. I don't think he kicked a goal, but they didn't kick a goal. They got beat by 90. Oh, no, I think it was nearly 100 points. Let's just call it 100 points because that's what it should have been. It was one of the most. It was the largest defeat Goody's ever had in his career. What do you put that down to, man? They don't have that many out, and Freo are going. Are they going that well?
You know what the thing is with the D's, and it's been our one wood, but it's also been our Achilles heel, is if we don't win contests, we get smacked. Okay. And I think they got smacked in the contest. They lost entries. We usually win entries, and the issue has been with Melbourne and not capitalising on how many entries we do get. I think we had 34 entries or something, which is just
half a game.
How are you supposed to score?
It was just a smashing
everywhere. I'd like to say we'll give them a mulligan, and I'm going to.
Do they deserve a mulligan when you got Petrarca, Gawn, Oliver, and then Viney in there? How do you get a mulligan with those three? If you're talking contested ball, they're some of the best contested ball winners in the league.
They'll be getting a rocket this week. No, and it's not the old-fashioned spray, but I think they know those guys have played enough footy. They'll know themselves where they went wrong. I know how hard those blokes work. And, you've been to footy clubs.
They're superstars, all of them.
And Goody will be showing them clips. Hey, you didn't work hard enough here. You didn't man up here. There's no two-way running. What happened here? The fundamentals, they fumbled a lot. Jeez, did they fumble?
What about Sarong, Brayshaw? You got so many other guys going through there. You got Young, I think you've got halfback a little bit, but Fife's in there. You've got O'Meara. You got Jackson and Sean Darcy. Geez, Sean Darcy played well. It's like, I reckon.
Jacko too.
Yeah, I think Jacko would have wanted to play well. Obviously, old side.
He has played well.
Yeah. So's Freo. They've actually played well against these traditionally, I reckon. But are they starting to really heat up, Freo?
I think so. I think if you can do that against Melbourne, who I still have a lot of belief in, I'm going to find it hard to tip against them. Especially even this week. I think they're coming into their own now, and they're playing as good as what people would have hoped.
Freo are trending, so are the Hawks, and there's a few other teams. Well, mate, that's about it, all I've got from last week. There's a lot more there. We must say the Nut, MIA, hamstring, straight onto the ice pack in the first quarter, which I hate saying, so I hope he's going well. But MIA, again, has confirmed next week, which making me look like, integrity is a large thing. I like to say if I'm going to be somewhere, I'll rock up. And I'm telling people listening and watching that if you tune in next week, the Nut will be here. So I think this is a last warning operation.
Did I warn you about the nuts or not?
You did warn me, yeah, you did.
I mean, we won't give it to him too much.
He's a great man, the nut.
He's one of the greats.
Hamstring, I'll give him that's a little mulligan
he's
there.
Had a hard week. He's done his hammy, but I did say he has been known at planning some things.
Double book.
Double book.
And when you got the hammy, you're not going out, so there's not much excuses next week.
I just think it's a case of the CBFs.
Yes. Can't be bothered getting the jersey. Well, we need that jersey. I might have to go to Adstra Law for that one. Let's get stuck into the tipping, mate, before we get to our play on or out of bounds. You know what? We actually have a clubhouse leader, and there's a bit of a gap here, man. And it's our man Gorm without a trace.
Gorm. Who was the other bloke we had there for a bit?
We had our man. Well, you know what? He slipped. It was our man Lockie.
Right.
Look, he's not even in the top 30. Where'd he go? I'm swiping. Where'd you go, Lockie? There he is, Joshy Lock. He had one last week.
Oh, it's a stink.
Joshy, what have you done? You've handed it away. He's on 73, right? He's on, the leader is on 78, but if he's on one,
wow.
Joshy's handed it away. That is outrageous stuff. But Jenny Shez from the block, Mum is in the top 4. She's back.
Oh, good.
Pretty much tied if you're on 75. But Gorm without a trace, 78, and ESPN fan, we're going to have to find out who that is, has closed in on 76. So,
how many did you tip last week,
I
mate?
tipped 5. I had a great week. If it wasn't for Melbourne and I tipped Adelaide, I tipped everyone else.
Gee, that would have been unbelievable.
Well, I was confident on Carlton.
I tipped 3.
I know. Me and you headbutted on, I think, did you go Essendon or Gold Coast?
I went Essendon.
Yeah, so I had Gold Coast. I had the Dogs over the Pies.
Yeah.
And I also had Carlton. I thought the Pies played really well with all their injuries, actually. But anyway, we'll talk about those games later on. And
Hey, just on the tipping.
Yep.
I've got. Oh, I know it's worth about $1 at the moment.
Not this week. Don't pull it out this week.
About $1 at the moment, but I've got a signed
that's a full
jersey
team.
by the boys. You know, we got Vines and Gorney here in the grey.
Big. Wow.
So that's
hold it up to the camera. Give the camera.
Yeah.
So that's our second jersey for the tipping competition.
Signed by all the boys.
Melbourne jersey, full team signed.
You know, right now it ain't worth a crusket, but at the end of the year, this could be worth framing up and putting on the
well
wall
done,
at
mate.
home.
Appreciate that. There you go. That's 2 jerseys in the kitty, and Gorm without a trace at the top. He might want that
in
first.
the pipeline too.
We do. We want to roll them out later in the year.
Gorm without a trace. There you go. He might want that.
He might want that for sure. Well, that's exciting. That is exciting. And you know what? We're going to talk about it later, but let's just talk about what's on our head right now, because it's King's birthday, and it's going to be a cracking game, and the D's are playing, and this Big Freeze 10th year anniversary, it's so special. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience, with the great man and, this whole cause? And, I think if anyone's been close to this, it would have been you being a Melbourne footballer.
Yeah, it's a special game to be a part of, but the week is unbelievable. Like Neil and what he's done, and I don't even know if I should say this, but when I first got to the club, I was told he would have 2 years to live. And, that was, I think it was the 3rd freeze, so this was 8 years ago. He had 2 years to live. He's still doing all these things for the Big Freeze, keeps getting bigger and bigger, raising more money, more awareness, more research in M&D in the fight. And it gives me chills thinking of the some of the speeches he's come into our footy club. He goes into Collingwood as well. And he will talk to us about just fighting for life, and and what footy and what it brings to your family and your friends and your teammates, how much all this stuff means to you. But it gives you a bit of perspective of like what's going on in your life, and don't get hung up on the small things, because there's a bigger picture. And just seeing what he does and his family have been able to do, and his fight that he's had, and like you think you've got fights in your life, but you don't, like compared to what Neil's going through. And like he just always has a positive attitude. He's always got a smile. He's just always bringing this positive energy when rightfully he doesn't have to. Like he's going through some shit, and he has for so long, but he would never show that. It's an inspiration. I used to love when he'd come into the club and he would talk to us. He'd always make us laugh, but he'd always send us with a message to that would sit with you forever. And I was always honoured to play in the Big Freeze. It was always a big game, the King's birthday or Queen's birthday back then. But now it's even bigger now because of what Neil's been able to do. So I can't wait to see. I'm sure the club filmed what he said to the boys, and they'll have snippets. So if anyone gets a chance, watch it because there's definitely some massive some messages to take with you. But I'm looking forward to the game Monday. I've got tickets. I'm not sure if I'm going yet, but I can't wait to watch.
Well said, Pig. That was outstanding. And I think we should just say again, what an inspiration Neil Danaher is. We can't imagine how hard it's been. And to everyone out there, please donate. Head to Coles, grab yourself a beanie. I think they might be at Bunnings, like I said. Me and Pig just picked one up at Coles and support. Do your best. 10 years. What a man. What a fight.
Well, he always talks about the fight and him fighting the beast, and he's done it better than I think anyone. And he's created so many funds, but so much awareness for this. I don't know about you, but I didn't know anything about it before Neil Danaher.
Had no idea, mate.
Exactly. So it's that's a testament to him. It's a credit to him and the character of person that he is. And he's going to help a lot of people. He might not see the fruits of his labour, so to speak, but at some point he's gonna make a difference to a lot of people's lives because of what he's done. So
and a lot of people are donating as well. I think we're up to is it 95 million for?
Yeah, since 2014, 95.4 million.
There you go. Since 2014, 95 point something million. So that's all off the back of the great man's hard work and everyone's support. It's outstanding. So let's get that to 100. Let's get that to the ton.
It will get there.
For sure this week. But one more just on the great man. Give me a funny story because I know the Danahers, they're amazing family. Obviously, I'm mates with Joey, and I know, I've got to do a little bit with. I know Ned obviously played Calder Cannons, but any stories because they're an amazing family and they do tell a good yarn.
Well, they're all mad. The Danahers, Terry of all people, the Dons. But you've put me on the spot for stories. But I've heard of him. I don't know if word for word, but him giving some of the almighty sprays, to Nita and all the Melbourne boys back when he was coach. And the way they talk about Neil, Nita, Jeffy Farmer, all the old Melbourne boys, they love him and they thought he was one of the great coaches, but he was known for a solid spray.
Oh, that's great.
And I think he coached one of the Australian teams or the All-Star teams or whatever it was, and Goody was there, and I think I might be wrong here, but I think Goody was having a stinker at halftime, and he pretty much told him that he was having a stinker. It came up last year that he pretty much said, you weren't exactly going very well at halftime. I had to have a word to you, didn't I, Simon? And Goody's like, Yep. So, he's a good
very
man.
Good. No, it's great. There you go. Well, as I said, get online, donate, head to Coles, Bunnings, wherever it is, and grab yourself a beanie. They're amazing. And then that's the other thing. How good is it when you see the G just packed with these beanies on, just blue?
And you're walking into the G and everyone is wearing a blue beanie. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Well, we better get to some footy. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to skip the play on out of bounds this week, actually, because we've been spending more time talking about a special cause. Yep. So we're just going to talk about footy. The game's coming up. We've already touched on that game, but we'll touch on our tips for these games. And then the most important thing at the end of our podcast,
our locks.
For the last 2 weeks, our momentum is our locks. We are into our third week, Pig. $400 going on to $1.30 each, and it'll, it's going to be juicy. I can't wait to build that kitty. Let's get it to it. I would love to see 1,000 soon.
We need to get some punishments too because it's getting to the.
Well, the questions were a bit. Oh, actually, I've skipped the questions. We'll do them in a second. There's one each for us, but the questions have dried up a little bit because they all wanted the punishments, but they've all just backed off because we're winning.
You can do both, guys. Come on.
Come on, you can do both. You can still send the questions in. So let's do the footy tips.
All right.
Then we'll do the locks, questions, KPI. Stop that.
All right. So Thursday night at Adelaide Oval, we've got the Adelaide versus the Tigers. And no Dusty, which is interesting because I think he's sick apparently, and
very tactical.
And next week is his 300th at the MCG, so it's a little bit ironic that that's happened. He's just fell sick.
Would be.
I can't see Richmond winning at Adelaide Oval
They
without
played well
Dusty.
last week, but they also lost, is it Lafau? I can't believe he did his ACL. The great man was playing after it. He hurt his knee last week, played it out.
Yeah, no, I've heard of that happening
Have
before.
you?
Yeah,
I didn't know
my
you
brother
could
did
move.
his knee local footy and played the rest of the season. Yeah.
What?
He got the scan, so digressing a little bit here, and refused to believe what the doctor was saying.
What about the lateral movement and all that?
Yeah, popped on him a couple of times. He goes, how can I run if I've done my ACL? He just refused to believe the doctor.
That's a
anyway, he ended
mindset
up playing the flag. Anyway,
That's
I'm going Adelaide. Yeah,
Adelaide, mate.
Yeah, you go Adelaide. Friday night, we've got the Dogs at Marble versus the Lions. This is interesting. The Lions are just, what are they?
Yeah, well, I think they're...
And what are the Dogs? They're going all right, the Dogs.
They're going okay. They weren't as impressive last week as I expected. I thought they'd put away Collingwood. Collingwood are going well. They got a lot out, Collingwood. And I thought the Bont and Adzi Trelaw literally have to have 25 and kick a goal or whatever. They had to turn it on for them to get going. And I reckon, knowing our boys, Ads and Dunks, they do the podcast together. This game's massive for the Auss-American Aces. But Dunks will most likely, I believe, go to Ads or Bont. So you're not going to get that performance, I don't think, again. And then you got Lockie Neal in there. So this is going to level up a little bit in the midfield, I think.
Yeah.
And then you go structurally, Harris Andrews, he goes to Jamara. Darcy now removes himself from the side for 2 weeks. Aaron Norton's on ice for 5 weeks. So then you've got Rory Lobb, who did say he's a bit stiff with the back last week. I just think that, I don't know why I'm leaning, but I'm leaning towards the Lions again. And they've hurt me all year, but so have the Dogs, and I've loved the Dogs month. But I think the Lions might match up all right.
Tipping the Lions?
I'm going to tip the Lions.
Oh, wow. Mate, that was a great spiel because you nearly sold it to me then. I'm just purely off the Dog and how inconsistent the Lions have been, but then I've been saying all year how inconsistent and you don't know what you're going to get out of the Dogs. This is a game where I feel like the Dogs are going to lose. You know
It's a good game though, isn't it? We actually don't
Friday
know.
night, I feel like it'll be a good one. I'm going to go the Dogs.
Yeah, beautiful.
Purely off how well, as you said, Ads and
The Bont
are going. Like the Bont had one of the great games.
Mate.
Isn't it funny how
I took him for the unders last week. He had 30. I've only done. I've done unders 21 times in my life. I think I've got him wrong every time. I just thought he'd have. I thought he'd kick 2 goals, and I thought he'd have an impact game in the forward half. I didn't think he'd accumulate. Oh, was I wrong? It was a special performance.
The thing with Bont, he can get his 30s, but he'll get 24 and kick 2 and be best on by a mile just purely for what he does. But 24 is like 35 for other people. So you have 38 and kick 2 and have one of the great...
his last quarter was outstanding.
I'm going to go the Dogs, but cracking game. All right, Saturday we'll whiz through a couple here, but we've got the Hawks versus the Giants. I know the Hawks are going well, but I'm going to go the Giants. It's here. Oh, sorry, it's in Tassie.
It's in Tassie. And
UTAS Stadium.
I think this will be really close. I hope the Giants start well, but that forward line is stacked for the Giants, and I think it'll cause a few issues for the Hawks. But as we said, the Hawks are flying, and there's a few injuries at the Giants, but they were impressive against Geelong. Wow.
What about this? West Coast versus North. And I just said they're not going to win a game, so I'm going to go West Coast.
With Harley Reid out, is Waterman back this week?
It's over there in Optus.
I need Jake the Snake to be back.
Waterman's playing.
Yeah, I'm going to go West Coast, but look, if Waterman's out for some reason, because we're recording this before seeing the teams, I have this feeling it's got to be soon. It's got to be soon.
Wouldn't it be such a me thing to call them how they're not going to?
Yeah, and I know we're doing our lock soon, and I just hope for God's sake you haven't got West Coast as your lock, because that would be devastating to know that, if your lock is West Coast, you haven't told me yet, but if it is, and North win, and you've come out with that statement, I'd be sick. Anyway.
We'll wait and see. West Coast for me. All right, I'm going to tip the Suns over the Saints. I just have no confidence in what the Saints are bringing.
Yeah, the Saints are hard to watch.
At Marvel on Sunday.
Suns played, as I expected last week, the midfield, they got tonked, so they were a great response.
What about Sydney versus Geelong?
Oh, you can't tip against. I'm not tipping against Sydney all year.
Ever.
Because I think you're going to get a couple wrong, but that's fine. But they've lost one game for the year, and Geelong's won one of the last 5. And if they beat them, great. but I'm tipping Sydney.
I'll go Sydney as well. They're just too good. But we'll go into these games. So these
two are the best of the. Oh, that's actually a great round, isn't it?
This is a cracker. So we've got
Oh, this is hard.
Sunday night, Essendon versus Carlton, two of the biggest teams in the league.
King's
Two
birthday
teams
Eve.
that are going well, second and fifth on the ladder, both going to play finals. Like they're definitely going to play finals at this point. I don't think it's been like this for a long time. Both at the moment not going their best. Like, Essendon lost last week to Gold Coast, which they probably hoped to have won. Carlton, what are they going to do? I just think this is shaping up to be a cracker. 90,000 at the G.
I reckon more.
You reckon more?
Well, when's Essendon and Carlton been good?
Yeah.
At the same time, it's been 20 years.
Public holiday next day. Everyone on the piss.
1999 when Big Dean Wallace got smothered or whatever, and I started crying as a kid on the radio. It's been that long since I've heard these two teams like playing a game and it being an absolute blockbuster and 50-50.
Yeah,
and the Mackay brothers. We finally get the boys. Who would have thought you'd get them playing against each other with Essendon and Carlton? He never got a game against each other at North. We finally get the brothers. Do they play on each other? Surely they go finals. We're going to have a different matchup. But this week, King's birthday eve, let's put you boys on each other. Charlie can go to Ridley.
I think if that's the case, Laverde goes to Charlie Curnow. I think if that's the case, then Laverde goes to Curnow or Curnow. I can't see that happening, man. He's the best forward in the comp. So I think Mackay goes to him. But hypothetically, if the Mackay brothers played on each other, right, I think, and this is the only instance where the match review panel or officer should just steer clear of it.
Oh, wouldn't it be good to have just
good with that and
free for all rules for this one game for the brothers?
If there's a little scrap with your brother at the MCG, that should be allowed. They should stay out of it. Let the parents deal with it at dinner on Monday night.
So you're saying free for all for the if you're a brother and you're playing on your brother, there's no rules attached.
You should be able to punch your brother as hard as you want.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, they're brothers.
Yeah, it's fine. Play on. Yeah. And all the teammates can stay out of it. No third man in.
Let Mrs. Mackay sort that out tomorrow night at family dinner.
Exactly. And they're both the same size. They look the exact same. Like it's best man wins.
Exactly. So that'd be hilarious.
On that, who are you backing? If they're playing on each other, which one gets hold of each other?
I'm always going to back the defender. So yeah, I'm back.
He got 4 kicked on him last week by big Benny King. He might tighten up this week.
Well, you'd have to. So who's he go to then? He'll go to...
Has to go to Charlie.
He'll go to Charlie. And
Laverde will go to Harry. But he might play... In my experience, you'd think he'll just take the deepest.
Yeah.
And Vossi might go Charlie, go up the field for a bit.
I reckon they do it. They have to, just for the theatre. The crowd will love it. So
it's good on you, boys. I can't wait. We all can't wait to watch.
We've digressed a little bit, so we'll get into our tips. But I just have a little bit more faith in Carlton at the moment. So I'm going to go Carlton.
I want I actually don't. I want Essendon to do well this year. But I have to tip Carlton. I have to tip Carlton.
I think I want Essendon to win. So, but I'm going to tip Carlton. Tipping with head, not heart.
Oh, rare.
Yeah. So, in saying that, we get on to Monday, King's birthday.
We haven't got the D's.
We get on to the Monday.
The Pies off a 100-point loss.
Big freeze clash. We've got the Pies and the D's.
And Pig's tipping with his head, not his heart.
Tip with my heart and my head. Given the D's a week off last week, I don't think in my time, obviously, we'd never been whacked like that. And if we did, the boys have always bounced back well.
Always?
Historically, as long as prove me wrong out there, but I just think the boys are going to bounce back well.
I think you're right.
It's going to be a cracker. Same thing. If the weather's good, it's Collingwood's home game, which is always a good thing because it means that we packed out because it was Melbourne's home game. Sorry to say it, but the Melbourne fans don't rock up.
Surely they rock up for their King's birthday.
This one they do. So I'm expecting 90 to 95,000 there. And my D's are 10th. They're out. They're out.
And
of the
I think Collingwood 9th as well at the moment.
9th. So
This is a big game.
This is huge. So, the loser of this is you got to make up a fair bit in the back half of the year.
I'm looking at the weather here, and it looks like it's 15 degrees and clear on Monday on my Apple. The Apple weather, man's not always on the money, but it looks like an okay day.
Yeah, I might as well get my daughter out to lick her finger and go, oh, yeah, it's where the weather's going if that's what you're going off. But
Righto, Jane Bunn. I'm going to go for the D's as well. Just for Neil and for the occasion. And the Pies won the flag last year. So, you kind of, I'd love to see the D's get up on this day. But as long as it's a good game and the freeze goes well, and looking forward to all the celebs going down the slide.
I've got tickets. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get there. I was going to work, but I might just take this.
Let me know. I'm around. Monday, you can take the day off.
We haven't done an event together, so this could be
You
us.
drink me under the table, though.
Oh,
Don't go too hard on me.
I'm having a
juice cleanse.
Juice cleanse.
Me and you on the juice cleanse and with the beanie on. That'd be the go.
All right, mate. What are we on next? All right, that's us. That's the tips. That's us.
We should give out 12-week challenge locks now because we've got a couple more things to do, but it makes sense. I know I haven't heard yours yet, and geez, am I excited.
What do you got?
No, you go first.
All right, so I've got Hawthorn GWS, Toby Green goal.
One goal?
Love
it.
St Kilda Gold Coast. I know it's not the sexiest game for the weekend. I know it worries you a little bit.
A lock?
But St Kilda aren't going well, right? Ben Long kicked 4. And he's kicked 2 in the 3 games prior to that. I'm going Ben Long goal.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You can't go Ben Long for a goal.
Ben Long goal.
It was his milestone game last week. He might have had
4-2-2-2.
He might have had a bit of a party afterwards.
4-2-2-2. All I'm asking is 1.
You didn't want to go King?
I wouldn't have got the 130. So
what's he paying for a goal?
$1.27.
And you're gonna.
He's playing a bit more deeper. I think they're going to get a lot of opportunities against the Saints.
Naturally lock the game down though. I like it. I watched him last week, and you know what? He played well.
So that gets us $1.40. A little bit of juice.
Yeah, a little bit of juice, and that'll take the account over to maybe $700-800. Well, I've got no juice this week. I've actually gone for $1.32. Are you ready?
I am ready. I want to put it in. So give us the.
Okay, I can't believe. I don't know why I thought King was there. You know, King's kicked 3 goals every game the last 7 games.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have got us there.
Okay, Adelaide is paying $1.14 against Richmond at home.
So you're tipping them.
I'm taking Adelaide head-to-head.
You hate head-to-heads.
I do hate them, but this is against Richmond without Dusty.
Go on.
And they just lost their key forward.
Don't hate. You know what?
And they have no players left. If Adelaide lose this, I'll give it up.
I like it.
Okay? And then Jeremy Cameron for 1 goal is $1.16. That takes me to $1.32.
I like this.
If that doesn't get up, that is the lock of the century. One of the most special players in the competition. He plays Sydney. Good matchups. They haven't got tools. I expect him to kick a goal.
I'm putting it on now. I hope you're comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable.
That gets us $1.92.
Okay, can you get any boosts in there?
Oh, yeah, that's with the boost, bro.
Boost it up. That would take us to about 770, 760.
I missed the dot then.
Boy.
And
oh, boy.
Come up with 77,400. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
All right, mate. $774.74.
Oh, if it gets up. What's the last leg? What game?
Let me look.
Is it the Saints game or is it the Cats? With
Jeremy Cameron.
Okay, so Jez is going to have to bring us home.
Jezza on Sunday.
I was thinking about this going.
Saturday night, Ben Long. All eyes are on you, big fella.
Let's go. Righto, there you go. This is going to be interesting. Follow along. This is going to be good. I'll start putting some clips up or some graphics up once we get to about week 4, I reckon. But, mate, good luck. I'm actually starting to get, there's been a lot of thought for that. And I went, don't overcomplicate it. Adelaide should win. And I was going to move the line to $1.30. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that because I hate head-to-head. I'm just going to take Adelaide to win into Jezza. If Jezza doesn't kick a goal, it's going to be hard to look him in the eyes because we've got to catch up soon. But it is what it is. You've got to back your mates in, and I feel like they've got us here so far. I can't believe you picked Benny.
You made me nervous about the old Benny.
Yeah, he's been good though, but I just always get a bit worried.
He's kicking goals.
Yeah, and that's why they might put someone on him.
Who?
Although he's playing his old side, isn't he?
He kicks a goal.
Righto, guys, we've got your Q&A, or your questions more so, and we'll answer them. But some funny ones this week, Pig, and we can't read them all out. We've gone long. We're trying to keep this under an hour, but some fantastic questions, and we'll revisit them next week if we're a few short. But we love them. And I'll start with, well, we've got a question here from Ben. It's not about a question. Who's the recruit of the year, lads? He goes on to give his opinion. So I just thought I'd stop it there from Benny. Who do you think has been the recruit of the year so far?
Off the top of my head, I think purely off how well this club are going, Essendon and Mackay. I think he's just steadied up their defence. I know he got a few kicked on him last week and they had a loss, but he was in All-Australian contention. Still think he could be potentially in the All-Australian squad at this stage, and I think what he's done for Essendon, he would be mine off the top of my head.
Nice. I think you're probably about right, and I think about this bloke here, but Jackie Ginnivan, I tend to agree with our man Ben, who did give his thoughts from a how do I explain this in English? Just the fact that the awareness he's brought the football club, I think he's one of those players we love watching. He's having 20 disposals and kicking 2, he's kicking a goal nearly every week and having 20 disposals. He's working his way up the field and the Hawks are going really well. And he'll be one of those players that's going to move with the list because they're all around his age. So I think he's been an amazing recruit for that footy club and the way they're going. But I probably tend to agree that Big Benny Mackay's been unbelievable for the Essendon Footy Club and steadied them up, and they've gone right up that ladder. And I think he's been a big reason. And Ridley's only been back for 2 weeks.
Didn't have a good game.
Oh yeah, we forgot about him because Benny was holding it down, and Laverde stepped up, and you got all these other players around. So I think you're right. But Guinea's been awesome as well,
and he's still playing with that flair. And I feel like, but there's a bit more of a maturity about the way he's playing. Like you don't see him playing for the free kicks as much as what he was. So he's getting the ones he deserves. Well, as you said, he's kicking goals and he's having an impact.
And then the other one we probably haven't given enough love to, but maybe Brodie Grundy. Yeah, not that he started. His whole year's been unbelievable, but that midfield is firing, and people kind of forget that Brodie Grundy has been traded there from the D's.
One of the great men, Brodie. So he's been unbelievable. When he went there, I knew he would have a massive impact. I know he still had a heap of good footy in him. He's a good teammate, ripping guy.
That last part you said I love, and I think that's why as well. I reckon he's a ripping guy. I don't even know him, but I can tell from all the you can just tell.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot from a lot of people about him. And you look at the midfielders underneath him, and I reckon he's one of those players that they just love playing with, and he loves helping and blocking and tackling. And I just feel like that engine room is thriving with him as the ruckman.
He's athletic and super talented, but I don't think you'd ever meet anyone who's met Brodie would say a bad word about him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So he's having a massive impact in the best team in the comp. So he's definitely up there.
Yeah, those three you could, for sure. If we've missed anyone, let us know. Righto, this one's funny. We'll finish on this before we get to our KPI Construction. Stop that. And do we have a big one this week? We're both going to collaborate on this one. We're filthy. CC059. Need some advice, boys. I've got a decision to make.
There we go.
Go to the footy trip or skip it as it falls on the missus' birthday and spend some time with her. I went to the races on her birthday last year. Cry face.
Trying to get me in trouble here, Tommy?
Sounds like CC made the wrong decision last year. You've already said footy trip?
Well, it's a tough one.
He needs
how old is he? Does he have kids?
He's obviously 18 plus because he's on the piss.
And I don't know if I'm going to be very popular sharing this. I went to Mount Buller because my missus' birthday falls on King's birthday weekend essentially. So what's the week after? It's the 15th of June. And we would always get the following week after that. You know, we'd play on the Monday or whatever it was, and then we'd get, you know, recovery, then pretty much be off.
The bye?
The bye.
Oh, that's your time to shine.
I know. Every year. But it was always Anthony's birthday. And, you know, it's great. One year I went, a few of the boys went to Mount Buller, and I went, and I wish I didn't go because I haven't heard the end of it. Well, she hadn't brought it up for a while, but it was definitely for a couple of years there. There was just every mention of her birthday about me going to the Mount Buller and not being there on her birthday, which I still feel bad about. And so he's in a predicament. I always said you should never miss a footy trip, but it depends how much you value your life. If the big fella is scared of dying and getting murdered by his missus, then I would suggest you stay at home, big fella.
There you go. The pig
What
has
about
told
you?
you. Stay at home. I've got a solution. I think he needs to
Change the footy trip date.
No, yeah, that's one. But I
That's
reckon
a great solution.
the missus'
Gotta stay
birthday happens every year. Footy trip with that group of lads doesn't.
Yeah, sell that to your missus. Yeah,
I reckon this is a solution. I reckon he's got to go over and beyond with the birthday present, but it has to be
Yes.
early.
yeah.
He has to go a retreat, a getaway, surprise, a little something extra, mate. So whatever you've ever done before, triple it. But give it to her early and then say a couple of days later, by the way, I'm going on the footy trip.
Yeah.
And I reckon a little FaceTime when you're on the footy trip with the boys.
Where were you before I went to Buller?
I've been single for 31 years. Nah, there you go. So very funny from CC059, but the pig, the experienced relationship guru, Dr. Pig,
I don't know about the guru.
he says go on the footy trip.
Okay, yeah, well, maybe celebrate the birthday twice, but both sides of the birthday.
yeah, 100%. Well, hopefully the footy trip's only 2 days. Well, let's get stuck into it. Our KPI
Jeez,
Construction.
if this thing wasn't going to fit me before,
I think we might have to take the beanies
it's
off.
definitely not going to fit me now.
I'm going to have to take the beanie off here, unfortunately. Sorry, Neil. Doesn't fit my pinhead. Oh, there we go. The KPI Construction. Stop that. Segment is ready to go. It's been a
I'll let
big
you go
week.
off here.
Well, it's been a big week. And I said that earlier. I love integrity. And the nut has caused a few dramas, you know, with us telling our listeners, our loyal listeners, the people we love, and obviously the people that watch, that he's going to join the podcast. And we're trying, that's dragging on a little bit. But to tell you what's dragging on is I think it's a millennial issue. And I think anyone below, the Gen Z and Y, whatever they're fucking called.
Whatever we're up to.
Yeah, whatever we're up to. They're cooked as well. There's no integrity left in this world.
Integrity.
When you decide that you're going to go to dinner a week out and you lock in plans on a prime time night, and then it comes to that night and you get the 4 p.m. message when dinner's at 6, I can't make it. I feel a little bit sick. I can't make it. I've got a cold. I can't make it. Something's popped up. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to reschedule. I've had a gut full of people with no integrity. If you're going to lock in a plan, you don't need to be texting 5 times that day, 10 times that week to just double check if it's still there. Just commit, like the old school days. Just say you're going to be somewhere. So I just say to anyone out there, if you're going to make a plan and you're going to change it, stop that, because I've had enough. You're ruining everyone's lives. Everyone's planning around you, you selfish prick. Don't you dare change everyone's plans. We've all got better things to do than just to change our plans last minute because you can't be bothered rocking up, or you made a decision that you shouldn't have made the night before. You have some integrity and rock up. I've had enough. So stop that to all those people that just have no integrity and do not rock up and do not have any word, because they're full of shit and I've had enough of them.
That is unbelievable. Well said. I'll just piggyback off the back of that.
Oh, pun unintended.
Yeah, that's funny. Stop that, first of all. But I have a mate, and I'm not going to name him.
Name him.
Mark McGill, his name is.
He's a great man.
2 years in a row, two times in a row.
I think you dropped his name as well. That's a huge stop that on a podcast, but I love it.
I reckon, so I've got young kids. And it's hard to plan I'm working. It's hard to plan a weekend. And The last 2 times I've planned to catch up, it's been a week in advance. I've ticked off, misses, all right, teed it up, make sure the kids are looked after. All right, all good. Saturday arvo. And the day of, I'll be like, hey, mate, we still
That's the message that we don't need, but we still have to do it, apparently.
I think we were supposed to go somewhere one time. Anyway, I can't remember, but it would be the day of, I'd text him, and he's going cold. Usually straight on the text.
Cold.
And I'm like, what's going on? And then he'd be like, oh, mate, I've got held up. And then I'm like, oh, all right, mate, whatever. The next time, same thing happened. Said he had work. And I'm like, you don't have work. I knew, and then I reckon he even put, it was in his car with a hard hat on just to sell the story a bit more. And I reckon I found out he wasn't working.
Oh, he's done the story on Instagram just to sell it to you.
Snapchat to the boys like, I got caught at night shift. And I was like, send us a photo on site.
Mark, give us a spell. Get the sign out. Stop that.
Could be a little bit of mail on that, but no. He was a shocker. And I said my nephew was supposed to catch up with him in the Goldie. Pulled the pin on him last minute too. I said, no, you can't rely on this bloke. You can't rely on the nut either because he pulls out on the podcast. So stop that nut and come back next week,
Go next week, son, but stop that. So I just saw the huge stop that. I reckon there's a lot of people out there that have it. I reckon we should get our listeners in. Tell us one if you've had anyone, name them. But trust is very hard to gain. But very easily gone. And I tell you what, this day and age, you've almost got to send 1,000 messages to make sure that you're alive and you're well and you're rocking up and you're going to be there within the hour. I mean, I'm the first to say I'm late.
No,
sometimes, but I'm there and I produce energy. Yeah, I know when I roll in, I'm going to give you a little bit, and the later I am, the more I'm coming in with because I know I owe you a bit, right? Yeah. But I never pull out last minute. You can't be pulling out last minute. You got to rock up.
I'm always like, if I know I'm even 2 minutes late, I'm texting, hey mate, sorry I'm running late.
Yeah.
And I know people that I'm sitting there on my own at a restaurant or a bar, might be with my missus, might be on my own, whatever. 10 minutes, I'm like, mate, where are you? It's just around the corner. 20 minutes later, rolls in half hour late.
That's horrific.
Just at least tell me you're late.
A heads up. I think communication.
Stop that.
That's a big thing.
Give it a little bit more communication.
Well, anyway, that's a stop that to the podcast. I tell you what, it'll be a stop that. It'll be if one of us lose this week, there's going to be a punishment. There needs to be a punishment, I think, for week 3. We'll talk about how heavy that'll be. So
maybe you eat a bag of these bloody things.
I think that's too easy. That would be sickening. But again, tune in the locks this week, and if any of them go down, get in that comment section and get into us. Let us know what you want to see. Hopefully, we see the nut next week. Thank you so much for all your support. Continually to share the podcast, leave a comment, a review. You know what to do. But we can't thank you enough for your support, and we'll see you next week. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.